A prayer for the lost. The church bells had not rung in 3 years. They stood silent above the misted valley, the metal tongues rusted to stillness, as if the heavens themselves had stopped listening. Elena Marlowe knelt each evening beneath those bells, her hands clasped over a single photograph, her son, Daniel, last seen on the night of the flood. The river had taken him, they said. No body was ever found. Yet every dusk, she came. At first it had been grief that drove her, then faith, then something beyond both, a compulsion that felt neither holy nor human. The villagers whispered that she prayed to a ghost, not to God, but Elena didn't care. She lit her candle, knelt on the cold stones, and whispered the same plea she had for 1,000 nights. Bring my boy home. The light trembled, as if something heard. It was in the 4th winter that the letters began to arrive. The first came folded neatly inside her prayer book. No return address. Just her name, Mother, written in the looping, uneven hand of a child. Inside a single line, I can see you when you pray. Her heart seized. The ink smelled faintly of river water and ash. The priest told her it was a cruel trick. Grief makes us see patterns, he said. But when the second letter arrived, left on her doorstep in the dead of night, he grew pale. The river is cold, it read, but there is light beneath it. That evening, thunder cracked across the valley. Elena dreamed of the river glowing from below, of faces pressing against its surface, whispering in currents that sounded like hymns. She woke crying, her hands wet, though she had not left her bed. Days passed. More letters came, each signed Daniel. They spoke of warmth, of a voice that sang where light and shadow met, of a place where prayers are weighed and the lost are taught to listen. Her faith began to warp between awe and terror. She took the letters to Father August, the old priest who'd baptized Daniel. He read them slowly, his face drawn tight. There are things, he said, that borrow the shape of hope to lead us astray. The enemy knows a mother's ache. But his voice trembled when he blessed the envelopes. For the ink burned faintly gold under the candlelight. That night, Elena returned to the river. The moon was veiled by clouds, the air cold enough to silence the crickets. She followed the curve of the water until she reached the old bridge, the place Daniel was last seen. There, leaning against the rail, was a woman. Her cloak shimmered faintly, as if threaded with starlight. Her face was ageless, neither young nor old, beautiful nor plain. You have prayed long, the woman said. Her voice carried the hush of distant bells. He hears you. Elena fell to her knees. Is he alive? The woman smiled sadly. He is found, but to bring him back would cost you what remains of your faith. The wind rose. The water below shimmered with impossible light, pale, beckoning, the color of dawn seen through tears. There are prayers, the woman said softly, that are answered by mercy, and there are prayers that are answered by love, and love does not always return what it takes. Elena closed her eyes. Then let him rest. The woman touched her head gently. You are stronger than your sorrow. And when Elena looked again, the bridge was empty. Morning found her asleep at the altar steps. Her candle still burned beside her, though she had left it by the river. The final letter lay beside it. It read, I am where prayers become light. Thank you for letting me go. The bells rang that Sunday for the first time in years. No one had pulled the ropes. They moved on their own, tolling not in mourning, but in peace. And those who passed the church at dusk swore they saw Elena there still, kneeling with her candle, eyes lifted toward heaven. But her lips no longer trembled with pleading. They moved with gratitude. No one dared open the prayer book left on the altar after her death, but when the bishop finally did, He found between the pages a single white feather and one last line written in a Child Wes hand. Every lost prayer is found.